Now, it's time to meet the players of college sports today, presented by the Allen Law Firm, and get this show started. He's a Heisman Trophy winning quarterback, a first-round NFL draft choice, and a member of the College Football Hall of Fame as both a player and coach. He is the head ball coach, Steve Spurrier. He's a rare two-time SEC Player of the Year and spent over a decade in the NFL. Ladies and gentlemen, Shane Matthews. And presenting the host of the show, with over 25 years of sports broadcasting experience, Terry Norvelle. Coming to you from the future Home Loan Studio inside Spurrier's Gridiron Grille. It's time for College Sports Today with Spurrier, Matthews, and Norvelle. Presented by the Allen Law Firm.
Wow, the halfway point of college football this past Saturday did not disappoint. What a slate of games, a ton of great finishes, upsets. That is what we love about college football. Hi, everybody. Welcome to College Sports Today on a Monday. You see our sponsors. Thank you to the Allen Law Firm's offices in Gainesville and Ocala, and I'll tell you all about future home loans. Our studio sponsor, we are inside Spurrier's Gridiron Grille with Steve Spurrier, coach, halfway through college football. Storylines really taking shape now. First, a couple things I want to throw at you. Alabama goes down in a thrilling game in College Station, and damn, the Georgia Bulldogs look like they might be the best team going right now. They are strong. Another dominating performance. Alabama, Georgia, lead off with those two. What you saw?
Yeah, Georgia is definitely number one in everybody's poll right
Really
now.
look like it, don't they?
So, we'll see how it ends up, of course. But, they deserve to be number one, definitely. Alabama, I was going to call Chris Doring and said, you were just a week too early on your prediction.
Yes, he was. He said Ole Miss was going to get them.
He said Alabama's not what they used to be.
Yeah.
And to give up 41 points and, guys running wide open and so forth, they're not the typical Alabama team. But A&M, they played well, played just a little bit better. And got the win.
Yeah.
That Nebraska-Michigan game went down the wire.
Wow, Nebraska nearly had them. Nebraska's playing better. They really are.
And then Iowa. Iowa's the team that's
Yeah.
in the top four in the nation now, without a question. So a whole bunch of good games, a whole bunch of close ones. The stands are completely full just about everywhere, except at my old school, Duke. We can't draw a crowd at Duke yet. But
you were up there, right, over the weekend?
Yeah, we had a little reunion of all the guys that played football in the 80s. And I was able to see three of my ACC Player of the Year guys. Ben Bennett, quarterback in the early 80s. Clarkson Hines, wide receiver.
Oh, yeah.
And Anthony Dilwig way back in 88. So it was a few years ago. Those guys were the best in the ACC.
Oh, yeah.
So it was good to see those guys.
So Duke lost a heartbreaker. Probably should have beat Georgia Tech in that ball game.
They should
had
have.
Duke had them.
They gave away a bunch of scoring chances. They were inside the 30, 25, right in there 4 times, and missed a couple field goals, went for fourth, didn't make it, and finally made one field goal.
Yeah.
So they got 3 points. And then they still had the lead, and Georgia Tech hit a long pass right at the end. They were down there playing bump and run with a 4-point lead. With about 30 seconds left.
Oh, coach.
Guy chunks it down the field. Kid makes a heck of a catch. Game over.
Oh, boy. Oh, boy. We got a lot to get to. We'll talk about a couple more games, take a break, and then really dive into, it was week 6, halfway through the college football season. Florida, the Gators' homecoming win, 42-0. Kind of a business-like win, I thought. Got Florida on track, and now, they're 6 days away from a trip to Baton Rouge, and they're going to catch LSU's really reeling. LSU is really reeling right now. But I thought a nice, solid business-like win for Florida. Held some injured players out. Got a lot of guys in, some game experience against an SEC opponent. Good, solid business-like win for Florida, I thought.
Yeah, to cover a 40-point spread, I guess that's always pretty good. But second half, we played much, much better. I think defensively, we were a little upset, even though Vandy didn't score, that they were able to hang out on the field for quite a while.
Ball hog, yeah, they're ball hogs.
Make some third. I think they made 5 or 6 third down conversions, and missed one or two short field goals. I'm not sure. But then we dominated them in the second half. But I know Dan Mullen and the guys are trying to talk about starting a little faster.
Sure.
First quarter, let's get after them.
Sure.
And go. So, it's going to be a good one in Baton Rouge.
Yeah.
They turned into, somebody asked me, Pat Dooley asked me, why is that such a big rival? And I said, I think it was because the defensive backs started that mouthing about we're DBU.
Yes.
Said, no, we're DBU.
About 10 years ago or so. Yeah, 15 years ago, yeah.
And then the game we played them out there when McElwain was here, and they got in a scuffle before the game. And I thought you only do that with Miami when you're playing Miami.
Yeah.
But, we were scuffling around with LSU. But anyway, hopefully our guys just go down there and play a dang good game, and we should beat these guys.
I'm glad you brought that up, Coach. Before the break, there's been a lot of talk. That game got set about 3 days ago. It came out. It's a nooner in Baton Rouge on TV, but that'll be 11 a.m. in Baton Rouge, right? Or in Baton Rouge, noon here, but 11 a.m. kickoff. And there's been a lot of talk. I've heard people all over the last 3 or 4 days, wow, Florida A gets a break, but I don't think they ever played there. I'm thinking, yeah, McElwain, that was the Hurricane game that got moved November 19th in the 2016 season. It got moved. Should have been in Gainesville. Remember all the controversy, and that helped heat it up. Remember the controversy? The game was supposed to be in Gainesville. Got moved to Baton Rouge. That was a noon kick. The goal line stand. McElwain wins the game and goes to Atlanta.
Yeah, Jeremy Foley, our AD, and Joe Oliva.
They went at it, boy.
They were mouthing about, well, y'all come here. Well, we don't come here, there, the other.
That was a noon
kickoff.
We went
11
a.m. there.
And then they came here 2 years
Twice.
in a row. I think we
Twice.
beat them all 3 times, didn't we?
Yeah. But yeah, people asked about that and said, yeah, Florida never plays 11 a.m. local time. I go, wait a minute, y'all forget the goal line stand? Remember Darius Geis didn't quite get in? That was a high noon game because that game was moved to late in the season and should have been in Gainesville, but was moved to Baton Rouge. Before we break, real quick, a couple of unique quarterback situations none of us saw coming. Number one, Coach, Georgia, they're playing so good right now. They're the clear number 1 team today, and there's a lot of football left. Stetson Bennett and Georgia are playing so well. Georgia has to leave him in as the starting quarterback, right? Not that the team wouldn't have responded to JT Daniels, but Stetson Bennett is so efficient, he's got to be the starter. Doesn't he?
Yeah, he's a dang good player. And they're not throw the ball 40 times.
Not really,
They're
no.
maybe 15 times, 15, 20. That's all they need to do and run the ball and play defense. So I don't know what they do, but Stetson, he's a wonderful teammate. The guys love him. So I don't know what they're going to do, but
You've got to leave him in,
surprise
though,
me if they leave him in there. Yeah,
just the way the team is going right now, I think it would be catastrophic.
He can make all the throws. He can throw it 50, 60 yards. So
you never would have thought, though, that I know we're putting the cart way before the horse. You never would have thought that if this continues through the end of the year, Stetson Bennett's not an NFL prospect at all. His Andy Warhol time to shine is in college, and he looks like he loves college. So certainly he's going to come back, it looks like, play this year, come back. JT Daniels may have transferred to Georgia, and just through injuries and weird life, he may not play anymore in Georgia. What about Spencer Rattler at Oklahoma? Gets benched. The Red River rivalry was incredible back and forth, but Spencer Rattler, for the second year in a row, benched in that game. The kid Caleb Williams comes in and leads Oklahoma on 8 consecutive scoring drives. How would you bench this kid after that performance? I mean, Spencer Rattler, the Heisman favorite, maybe getting some bench time here the rest of the season.
Well, that's
crazy.
Depends on how you look at it.
Yeah.
I mean, when I was a coach, it didn't bother me if a guy was not playing very well, and the next guy was just as good.
Yeah.
Well, let's put him in. A lot of people don't remember, but Jesse Palmer and Rex Grossman each had 4 wins in our 8-1 season in 2000 when we won the SEC.
Okay.
So they rotated through the season actually, and they were both okay. Hey, I got off to a bad start. He played well. He didn't play very well. I come back in. So it was both of them, and we, if they go to the bench, they knew they could come back.
Sure.
So it wasn't like you were there forever.
So, man, I got to believe Bulldog Nation is sitting here going, Kirby, Munkin, don't screw this up while we're playing so well. Leave Stetson in there. Nothing against JT, but, boy, Georgia seems to be really responding. So there's some of the early topics. We got a lot more to cover. The SEC is working itself out, some more national games. FSU on a 2-game winning streak, a very impressive road win for the Noles. They're going to win this coming Saturday. They play UMass. Don't look now. FSU is going to be on a 3-game winning streak. Some other games we want to get back into. Boy, Iowa, Penn State, a great game. I felt for Penn State losing their quarterback and other topics. Take a quick break. Come back with Coach Steve Spurrier. It is a Monday edition of College Sports Today.
Ever heard the saying, all politics are local? I believe the same goes for lawyers. To me, it doesn't matter how many lawyers any firm has spread across the country. What matters is who's the lawyer right here, right now. I'm Bill Allen. I've spent my whole career fighting big insurance companies for my friends and neighbors right here in North Central Florida. If you've been hurt and don't know who to trust, I would be honored to help you and your family against any opponent, anytime, anywhere. Call me 24/7.
Taste the islands and every drop of Vida de Luis tequila, 100% blue agave from Tequila, Mexico. Good vibes. All the good vibes we've had, we'll have again. All the good vibes we've had, we'll have again.
It's time to thank the sponsors that make college sports today with Spurrier, Matthews, and Norvelle possible. Vida de Luis Tequila, the official tequila of college sports today. Make sure you ask for Vida de Luis Tequila by name in your favorite bars and restaurants throughout the state of Florida. And of course, with your next margarita inside Spurrier's Gridiron Grille. Safe Harbor Seafood Mayport, Safe Harbor Seafood Crescent Beach, and Sliders Oyster Bar Neptune Beach. The official seafood restaurants of college sports today with Spurrier, Matthews, and Norvelle can be found up and down the northeast Florida coast. Safe Harbor Seafood Mayport, Safe Harbor Seafood Crescent Beach, and Sliders Oyster Bar Neptune Beach. The proud seafood sponsors of college sports today with Spurrier, Matthews, and Norvelle. J.B. Coxwell Contracting, established in 1983 and offering complete site development. Go with the company generally considered the most well-respected heavy civil construction firm in Northeast Florida. Go with J.B. Coxwell Construction. For advertising information to get your business on college sports today with Spurrier, Matthews, and Norvelle, simply shoot me an email, tnsportsjacks@yahoo.com. Again, shoot me, Terry Norvelle, an email, and I'll get back with you. That email address again, tnsportsjacks@yahoo.com.
Thank you very much to all of our wonderful sponsors you saw there. We appreciate each and every one of those. Remember, Vida de Luis, our official tequila of College Sports Today, available right here at Spurrier's Gridiron Grill, where we're broadcasting College Sports Today inside the coach's podcast room, inside his restaurant, Spurrier's Gridiron Grill. Coach Spurrier with us another 10 or 15 minutes or so. Coach, want to bounce around a little bit. We've hit a bunch of the games, some really cool, wild games. How about the past 2 weekends for Arkansas football? 2 weeks ago, Arkansas loses by scoring 0. This past Saturday, Arkansas loses by scoring 51, Coach. They get shut out, and then they score 51. They lose both games. How about that wild one with Ole Miss?
Yeah, I guess there's a debate about when you score last, do you kick the extra point or go for two?
What'd you think?
I say kick the extra point.
Okay.
I'll just give you my experience.
Okay.
I've been in some overtimes, lost most of them, by the way. Lost 3 of them to Tennessee and 1 to Alabama. So the 2 we won, we scored last and kicked the extra point.
Okay.
And sort of took our time at Missouri and actually in the swamp in 2014. We won in overtime there. And we sort of took our time and just went down the field and ran the ball mostly.
Okay.
And we actually won with a touchdown and one with a field goal when the other team missed a field goal.
Gotcha.
So anyway, to me, it's always best to kick it because usually the last team to score, not always, but the last team that scores to tie it up has a little edge.
A little momentum kind of thing, or yeah.
That's just my opinion.
Yeah, Sam Pittman goes for it though. He throws the
and
2
everybody
point
said
pass.
that was the right thing to do, but I don't think it's the right thing to do.
Tough call, but what a wild game. Ole Miss really, I know Kiffin brought in some defensive guys from the portal and really kind of signed some junior college defensive guys. Looks like the same Ole Miss defense from a year ago. They just can't stop anybody. It's just a track meet.
Yeah, Arkansas played very well to have lost that one. Yeah, it was.
How about Arkansas, though? They go from a 0 to 51 and lose both of them. They scored 51 and lost after getting shut out. I've been saying, I think you've agreed, Shane has agreed as well, Shane Matthews, who's on the show as well. Tennessee's playing good football. I know the opponents aren't great, but they just look like they believe in their coach now, and there's some synergy, and he's got the right guys. Tennessee, they can score, Coach. Their next 4 games, Ole Miss, at Bama, at Kentucky, and Georgia. So they've got Kentucky and Georgia with a lot of offense. Tennessee's really turned it around the last 3 or 4 weeks. They're playing well.
Yeah, they scored a bunch of points at Missouri and against South Carolina, and heck, Kentucky only got 16 against South Carolina. So who knows? But almost every game stands on its own merit.
Sure does.
But yeah, Tennessee is they can beat almost anybody.
Coach, a year ago, LSU came into the swamp and upset Florida with like 54 players, COVID-induced. So there was a lot of stuff going on with LSU, and they rallied the troops. I know you could kind of make the same argument. Florida goes to Baton Rouge Saturday, but boy, it seems like night and day to me. It really feels like the LSU program is really fractured right now. It really seems like Coach O is on eggshells there. A lot of people are really saying he's not going to make it, may not make the season. Boy, the LSU program, just yesterday it feels like Burrow and the boys didn't lose a game and they were the toast of college football. It has turned real quick. They're reeling in Baton Rouge with LSU right now. LSU struggling.
Yeah, Coach O is like so many head coaches. I don't think he coaches offense or defense, but he's the overall head coach. Nick Saban's the same way.
Yeah.
In fact, somebody suggested Saban should fire his defensive coordinator, as if the head coach is not responsible. The head coach is responsible for everything.
Yeah.
And so Coach O seems like 1 or 2 of those real good coordinators leave. They go somewhere else.
Yeah,
and
he's had trouble
trying to find somebody else, and this, that, and the other. So he's the year they won the national championship. I think both those guys. Well, one's in the pros now. Brady's with Carolina, and the other one I think is the head coach at Baylor.
Baylor, Aranda, right.
So he needs to continue trying to find real top flight assistant coaches.
LSU really scuffling. We touched on the Red River game, Oklahoma, Texas. What a crazy, wild comeback win. It looked like Oklahoma was just trying to position for the field goal, and damn guy breaks it in and wins the game. What if you're the Big 12, you're watching that crazy game and going, we're about to lose that rivalry. And if you're how about the SEC is about to pick up that game, right? When they move in, the SEC gets the Red River shootout with Oklahoma, Texas. If you're the Big 12, you're going, oh my goodness, we're about to lose that rivalry to the SEC.
Big 12.
How about that?
Well, obviously the presidents and the ADs at both schools, this is what they wanted, but they're still going to play the game.
Yeah.
The Big 12 just doesn't get any benefit from it.
If I'm sitting there on the Big 12, I'm going, goodness gracious, it's a gut punch. We're losing the 2 programs, and that game has been it's historic, and it goes right to the SEC. The SEC adds another really good game. Coach, I want to ask you if you've noticed this. I know you got a couple other things we want to get to. Have you noticed? I've noticed this year there's an epidemic in college football, and it is unbelievable. Coach, this is the year of the false start. Nobody can snap the football on time without penalties. Coach, there have been more false starts across the board. It's the visiting team generally. Coach, I have seen more back-to-back false starts. Nobody can snap the ball. Why is that, I wonder?
Well, crowd noise. Crowd noise is probably the big factor. Somebody said at A&M the other night it really affected Alabama. Iowa game that they won
you
was
saw
at
it.
home.
They couldn't. Penn State couldn't snap the ball. Florida had trouble snapping the ball at Kentucky.
So
Alabama had trouble here against Florida snapping the ball 3 or 4 times. It's everywhere, Coach.
Yeah, it seems to be a little bit everywhere, but you those linemen just have to sort of watch the ball and what we used to do, the center would actually say "Sad Hut" or whatever you say, "Sad Hut," and they can usually hear him.
I also noticed, and you have been really against it, and Shane as well. I still saw a lot of this. They're still clapping, and they're getting false starts. The road team is still doing a clap a lot of times, and I finally saw Penn State did what you said. The guard kind of tapped the center, but man, it's the year of the false start.
When the quarterback lifts his foot, that tells the center, all right, within about 2 seconds, say "Sad Hut." So that's the way most people do it, but they don't want to lift their foot anymore for some reason.
We talked. It reared its head in the Iowa-Penn State game. Speaking of Iowa, boy, their schedule is nice now. Iowa is in the Big Ten East. Okay, the Big Ten West. You've got Penn State, Michigan, Michigan State, and Ohio State. Iowa only plays one of them. Iowa's got a great schedule. Number 2, Coach. Are we all sleeping a little bit on Ohio State? They've got plenty of offense. Their defense looks like it might be coming around. Are we sleeping on Ohio State?
Well, the game that they lost was out of conference.
Oh, yes,
so they can still win the Big Ten.
Sure, they can.
They can still get in the Final Four,
sure,
whatever you want to call it. But I think the teams right now that really have a chance to go all the way are Iowa and Cincinnati. Cincinnati is right there ready to win them all, I think.
Yeah.
But there's a bunch of teams still undefeated, which is neat.
Yeah.
But it shouldn't be that way after 2 or 3 more weeks anyway.
News came out this morning, I saw for the first time. D'Eriq King, quarterback Miami, looks like he's done for the year, going to have some surgery. You know, he was injured coming into this season and rehabbing, and I think it's a different injury than what he had that held him out. But it looks like D'Eriq King, his season at Miami's over, and I got to believe his career probably is over. He's 24 years old, and I think he's a 6-year guy, so I got to believe.
Yes, too bad injuries have sort of taken him away.
Coach, you got some stuff before we get you out of here. What we got?
I want to give a special shout-out to Ben Shelton, our tennis player here at the University of Florida. He won the International Tennis Association Singles Championship this past weekend. He's the first Gator to ever do this. And that's a big event right there. The international, I'm talking all over the world. That means not just the United States. But he won the singles. I made a prediction when I was watching the U.S. Open, a month ago or so, that Ben Shelton, within the next 5 years, has got a chance to win the U.S. Open in tennis.
How about that?
So, he's good.
Good player.
He's got all the shots.
Good player.
Wonderful team player, too. That's how we won the national championship at Florida this past year. And I think the Gators got a chance to win it again this year, the tennis national championship.
Last thought before we let you go, we'll take a break. Coach Spurrier will get about his business. We'll come back and wrap up the show. Coach, sometimes I think fans get ahead of ourselves. I'll throw myself in there, even though I didn't agree with this. You look at the Florida quarterback situation, Emory Jones and Anthony Richardson. Anthony has played a couple games now, got in the Kentucky game for 9 snaps. He played quite a bit Saturday. You know what? Sometimes I think fans need to say, coaches know what they're doing. It's pretty apparent. Emory Jones is more advanced than Anthony Richardson. Emory Jones, it's Emory's team, right? I mean, Anthony's going to have his day, but you can tell Anthony Richardson still doesn't have the whole playbook down, and he's not as far. He's maybe athletic, more superior to Emory Jones. Emory Jones knows the system. He's been there 4 or 5. Sometimes you just need to watch and listen to the head coach or the quarterback coach or the offensive coordinator that sees these guys every day. I think it was pretty apparent Saturday. Emory's way more advanced than Anthony at this point in their careers.
Well, we all know that Anthony is a talent.
Sure he is.
Anybody can turn those backflips the way he can. It wouldn't surprise me if he was a little slot back receiver, throwing some quick screens every now and then, just to get him the ball, let him run. Of course, Emory's playing very well, and I've never worried too much about one guy has to play every minute of the game. But if there's a place to use Anthony, I think Coach Mullen and those guys will maybe look at that also.
Sure. Interesting. So Florida goes to LSU, Coach. We'll have you back on Friday. We'll have some picks. We'll be on the eve of, some big games, including, we didn't get into it, it's only Monday. Kentucky takes it on the road now, and they go to Georgia. The rubber hits the road. Georgia hosting Kentucky. That's the CBS game at 3:30, and Florida will play LSU at noon.
Yeah, Kentucky, Wake Forest, Michigan State, a bunch of still undefeated. Oklahoma State's undefeated, as well as OU. And So there's still a lot of teams out there that got big hopes.
Yeah, and a lot has happened. It's been an exciting season. We just hit the halfway point. There's half a season to go, and conference championship game. So there's a lot of wins. There's a lot of losses out there still. So there you have it, Coach. Well, do we cover everything? Get everything?
Yeah, that's pretty much what I was thinking. Bubba Wallace won a race 2 weeks ago. Michael Jordan, the owner. So that was really neat. First time that's happened in a long, long time.
But we're all in agreement right now. Not that they give out trophies today. We're all pretty much in agreement right now. The Georgia Bulldogs eyeball test. They're the most complete, best team out there, right?
Yeah, there's no question that they're
the new number one.
They look better than everybody. They look better than everybody. So they're the team to be beat, but it's early, and they got a lot of football ahead. We all do.
Yeah, there you have it, including the game we just brought
You know,
up.
a lot of things can change as we go. How about the Kansas City Chiefs? They're 1-3 now.
How about that? And they look undefeated,
they've only
unbeatable.
won more game than our Jags.
Yeah.
So, they got their issues also.
How about that? Coach, we appreciate it. We'll let you get going. We'll take a break, come back, wrap up this Monday edition. It is College Sports Today.
Ever heard the saying, all politics are local? I believe the same goes for lawyers. To me, it doesn't matter how many lawyers any firm has spread across the country. What matters is who's the lawyer right here, right now. I'm Bill Allen. I've spent my whole career fighting big insurance companies for my friends and neighbors right here in North Central Florida. If you've been hurt and don't know who to trust, I would be honored to help you and your family against any opponent, anytime, anywhere. Call me 24/7.
Taste the islands and every drop of Vida de Luis tequila. 100% blue agave from Tequila, Mexico. Good vibes.
It's time to thank the sponsors that make College Sports Today with Spurrier, Matthews, and Norvelle possible. Vida de Luis Tequila, the official tequila of College Sports Today. Make sure you ask for Vida de Luis Tequila by name in your favorite bars and restaurants throughout the state of Florida. And of course, with your next margarita inside Spurrier's Gridiron Grille. Safe Harbor Seafood Mayport, Safe Harbor Seafood Crescent Beach, and Sliders Oyster Bar Neptune Beach. The official seafood restaurants of College Sports Today with Spurrier, Matthews, and Norvelle can be found up and down the northeast Florida coast. Safe Harbor Seafood Mayport, Safe Harbor Seafood Crescent Beach, and Sliders Oyster Bar Neptune Beach. The proud seafood sponsors of College Sports Today with Spurrier, Matthews, and Norvelle. J.B. Coxwell Contracting, established in 1983 and offering complete site development. Go with the company generally considered the most well-respected heavy civil construction firm in Northeast Florida. Go with J.B. Coxwell Construction. For advertising information to get your business on College Sports Today with Spurrier, Matthews, and Norvelle, simply shoot me an email, tnsportsjacks@yahoo.com. Again, shoot me, Terry Norvelle, an email, and I'll get back with you. That email address again, tnsportsjacks@yahoo.com.
Back here on a Monday, coming to you live right now from Spurrier's Gridiron Grill, open and operating for you guys. We always broadcast College Sports Day inside Coach Spurrier's podcast room, inside Spurrier's Gridiron Grill. We call it during our show the Future Home Loans Studios. I want to thank Robert Lynn, Ryan Profit, that entire gang over at Future Home Loans. Boy, they've been in business going on 5 years now. They have become literally the dominant mortgage company in the Southeast. Fastest growing company in 4 years, just all over the place. Over 2,000 5-star reviews. That just doesn't happen. Boy, they've got relationships with so many lenders. What that does for you is matches your particular situation with the right lender. That is very, very important. They know what they're doing. Contact Future Home Loans if you're in the need for their services. Veteran owned and operated. They hire a lot of veterans. Robert Lynn is a proud veteran himself, the owner of the company. Future Home Loans. I want to thank Allen Law Firm. Hey, great way to get in touch. The easiest way to reach the experts at Allen Law Firm with Gainesville and Ocala offices. Pick up your phone and dial pound YES, or go to their website. They've got a great website with a consultation set up on it. You can have a virtual consultation on the Allen Law website. That is ALLEN, allenlaw.com. You saw the other great sponsors, Vida de Louis, the official tequila. Thank you so much to those folks. You can have tequila, Vida de Louis, served right here in Spurrier's Gridiron Grill in the Coco Loco. It's already in one of their great signature drinks, tequila shots, margarita. Think and ask for by name Vida de Louis Tequila, the official tequila of College Sports Today. Sliders Oyster Bar renovating about 5 or 6 weeks from now. They're going to open up again. It's going to be a brand new Sliders. I can't wait in Neptune Beach. The two great Safe Harbor seafood locations, and they sponsor our picks contest. Crescent Beach and Mayport, the original. You see Future Home Loans. You see Allen Law Firm, and of course J.B. Coxwell Contracting for all of your site work development. Contact J.B. Coxwell Contracting. Terry Norvelle here, wrapping up. A lot we've covered with Coach Spurrier. We appreciate Coach sitting in for about a half hour. Things we wanted to get to before we get out of here. A couple thoughts around college football and some developments. Yes, Georgia is number one, and they will be ranked number one. They deserve to be ranked number one. The eyeball test says the Dawgs are the best going right now halfway through the season. Iowa, who had Georgia 1, Iowa 2 preseason, but Iowa escaped a home road win. A home win over Penn State going on the road. Penn State, I really feel for Penn State. I thought, if you watched Iowa-Penn State well into the second quarter, Penn State was dominating that game. Clifford, the starting quarterback, got injured. He was out for the season, and the game turned like crazy. But, boy, I thought Penn State was dominating. They couldn't finish it off with the backup quarterback. Iowa with a big win. Now they've got a favorable schedule to get them to the Big Ten championship game. I said, speaking of the Big Ten, don't sleep on Ohio State. Boy, their offense is really lethal. They've got plenty of offense, including the running back Henderson. He's going to be on load the rest of the year and going into next year. Ohio State, plenty of offense. Their defense is slowly coming around. Ohio State, Michigan State, Penn State, those guys are going to battle it out. They're all in the same division in the Big Ten. They're going to battle it out. And then Iowa's in the other division. Iowa only plays Penn State of that group I just named. They've already beat Penn State. So Iowa, boy, if they don't make it to the championship game, it will be really, really a hard pill to swallow for the Iowa fans. Cincinnati stays undefeated. Cincinnati now is and will be, when the other polls come out this week, in the top 4. They've checked in, I think, at number 3 in the recent poll that came out. Cincinnati, let me tell you what Cincinnati did Saturday night. They were sweating out the Virginia Tech-Notre Dame game. Why? Virginia Tech needs Notre Dame to keep winning. Cincinnati needs Notre Dame to keep winning. Virginia Tech should have beaten Notre Dame the other night. Notre Dame came back and won. That is a huge win for Cincinnati because the Bearcats beat Notre Dame earlier in the year. Cincinnati needs Notre Dame to keep winning. They need that signature win. Cincy really, really is tied at the hip to Notre Dame. You may say, well, what if Notre Dame doesn't lose again? Well, if Cincinnati runs the table and Notre Dame doesn't lose again, if it came down to those two for one of the 4 spots, Cincinnati would get the nod. They have a head-to-head win over Notre Dame. So, boy, Cincinnati is tied to Notre Dame. College football, you can have strange bedfellows. That's one of those situations where they were praying that Notre Dame said some Hail Marys and got the win, and they did. Virginia Tech outplayed Notre Dame and probably should have won that game. In case you missed it, we've talked about a bunch of undefeated teams still halfway through the season. We lost one. BYU got beat. They are done now. They've lost a game. They're an independent. BYU is out of the mix. Oklahoma State, the only 2 undefeated Big 12 schools. Of course, they play in Bedlam in several weeks. Big 12 still up for grabs. You've also got, there are only 2 undefeated teams now in the SEC, and they play Saturday. Georgia and Kentucky, for goodness sakes. Kentucky, 2 big wins the last 2 weeks. At night in Lexington. Kentucky takes it on the road in front of a hostile crowd, in Athens this coming Saturday. 3:30 CBS game of the week for CBS has Kentucky taking it on the road to take on Georgia. Georgia, we talked a lot about Georgia today with Coach Spurrier. They're the deserving number 1 ranked team. The Auburn-Georgia game, I think, went the way I thought, Shane thought, and Coach Spurrier thought. We all kind of pictured that same game. I thought it would be a slow, methodical choking of Georgia, choking the life out of Auburn, and particularly Bo Nix. He's just too inconsistent to beat a team like Georgia. That game went to script, I thought. Bo Nix and Auburn kind of reared their head a little bit, but it was a slow, methodical beatdown by Georgia in Auburn as the Dawgs really won going away after that. Really, after the first drive that Auburn really didn't punch it, 16, 17 plays. They didn't get it in the end zone. Nix kind of had an unexplained fumbled snap that killed the drive. That, in a way, ended that ball game. So there you have it. A lot of stuff happened this past Saturday. More will happen coming up this Saturday. Week 7, we've already passed or are passing the halfway point of college football. Thanks again to our great sponsors, including this 2 you see on the screen. Allen Law Firm, our title sponsor. So very proud to be working with Allen Law Firm. Locations, as you see there, their logos, locations in Gainesville and Ocala, servicing the entire state of Florida. Reach Allen Law Firm if you've got questions about a possible accident you've been in or somebody you know, or an injury you or somebody you know has suffered, unfortunately. Get all your questions answered easy on the phone, pound YES. That'll get you through to the experts at Allen Law Firm. And thank you, Robert Lynn, Scott Straw, Ryan Profit, the whole group over at Future Home Loans. They do it better than anybody. Great relationships with lenders. Contact Future Home Loans if you need their services. You will not be disappointed. Thanks to all the other sponsors. Thanks to Coach Spurrier for sitting in for about a half hour. And, of course, Evan Miller making everything happen. We'll get back together on Friday. Shane Matthews will join us as he will be making his way to LSU for the call of LSU Florida. We'll have our Safe Harbor Seafood picks of the week. And we'll have a good time looking at the rest of college football. See you guys on Friday, 11 a.m., the next edition of College Sports Today.